Hi there. As per usual, I look like shit and I don't care. I just woke up. Um, I decided on a whim we're gonna do one of those full day of eating situations today, just for the fuck of it. Haven't done one in forever. Couple of things to start off with. Number one, I'm not like a real YouTuber. I'm just some fucking dumbass that occasionally posts a video. So I don't have like a tripod or anything. I won't be showing any cooking. Um, at least maybe not. There is some cooking I need to do today, and if I have the ability and the chance to capture any of it, perhaps I will. But for a lot of this, like breakfast, for example, I already know what I'm gonna do for breakfast, and I already cooked that shit, so not much to show there. But I will show like what went into it. I'll explain like the breakdown of. You'll see. Um, but yeah, so this isn't going to be much of like giving you straight up recipes and instructions or anything, as much as just giving you a glimpse into a look. Um, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I should have waited until I was more awake. Giving you a glimpse into what a normal sort of day is for me. This is not meant to be any sort of like suggestion or, I'm not making any claims as to these things being healthy, nutritionally complete, whatever. I'm literally just showing you what I've been doing, and it is completely up to you how you choose to interpret that. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not a personal trainer. I am nothing at the moment. So, um, yeah, this is purely to sate your curiosity and to give me something to do because I'm bored. So there you have it. Um, yeah, I think that's it for the opening ramble. Actually, hold up. I did think of something else I forgot to mention. I decided literally a day or two ago that I'm gonna run another bulk cycle and that I'm starting like now. What I think I'm gonna do is like bulk for all of the rest of this month, February until like the first, second week of March or so, when I will switch to a brief maintenance phase for the rest of March and then slowly cut back down through April, May, and June. And in total, I'm aiming to do like 2 pounds of gain a week, um, which is a lot slower and a lot more reasonable than I did it last time. Um, I don't feel the need to put on a whole shitload of fat just to gain a little muscle. So I'm gonna try to keep it more moderated this time and do things more efficiently. That of course means on top of everything you're going to be seeing in this video today, I'm also going to be lifting. Today is going to be leg day, which is the worst fucking thing ever. I want bigger legs like really bad, but at the same time, like leg day is just horrible. I hate it. Um, but if I'm gonna get what I want, I'm gonna have to suffer through, and that's how a lot of this works. So it sucks, but oh well. So first things first, I gotta get fucking coffee. As you can see, almost all of this shit, actually all of this shit, is store brand. And it's just instant coffee. Because I'm broke and I have no tastes and I just don't care. And that's where I'm at in life. So I use 2 tablespoons of the powdered creamer. It's just generic, original, great value. A heaping tablespoon of this, about 2 tablespoons of the artificial sweetener, and like half a cup of the 2% milk. There's no particular reason I use 2%. It's just what my roommate prefers, and I don't care to keep 2 different types of milk in the fridge. So there you have it. That's all that goes into it. If you're trying to lose weight, leave out the powdered creamer and maybe also the milk. If you could just take black coffee and, artificial sweetener is one thing, but yeah, aside from that, just black coffee, of course, is the play. If you're trying to cut, if you're trying to bulk, use all the fucking milk and creamer you feel like. I'm somewhere in the middle, but as I said, I'm bulking, so I'm not being too careful with the measurements here. I'm only going to show it once, but I have 3 of these a day, so keep that in mind. I space them like 4 hours apart. I space my meals like 5 to 6 hours apart, and I will have 3 of those a day. Sometimes I have a snack, some days I don't. Um, but anyways, you'll see that. I need to get my breakfast now, so we'll transition over to that. All right, so breakfast. I've not heated it up yet, but it's a meal prep I made last night. I've been doing this meal prep a lot for the last couple of weeks because it's really easy, really simple, and I like it. We're gonna call them breakfast wraps because to call them burritos is an affront to Mexican cuisine. It's just a proud tradition that does not deserve to be equated with my bullshit. So we have here, first off, these are like low carb, like keto ish tortillas. Now that I'm running a bulk cycle, I'm probably just going to get regular tortillas for a while. But when I'm cutting, I use these, the low carb kind. I'm not actually doing keto, not remotely. But it just, it's a more favorable ratio of calories to protein in grams, which is generally how I run my diet is like I'm just looking at the most protein for the least calories. So that's also why I have fat-free refried beans and the reduced fat cheese blend. So yeah, what I'll do is the recipe makes 4, and I'll just divide this evenly, like eyeballing it with a spoon into each container until all 4 have a roughly visually equal portion. So I don't really measure that. I use 2 of the tortillas for each like single meal. I'll use half the can of corn for the entire batch of 4, so each single one has like an eighth of a can of corn. The cheese I actually did measure out. I used 40 grams of the cheese per tray, so that's 160 grams total. I also put half a cup of the salsa in each tray, so that's 2 cups total. The egg situation here, what I did was I chopped up a green bell pepper, a red bell pepper, and a fresh onion as well. Just kind of roughly diced it, and I mixed that into it was a casserole dish with 8 eggs and like 850-ish grams of liquid egg whites with salt and pepper and taco seasoning and shit like that. And I put it in the oven, which was not preheated, and then I just set it to bake at 350 Fahrenheit, and let it go for about an hour ish. And I pull that tray out once it's done and divide it into fourths. So each single tray has 2 eggs and like 215 ish, 220 ish grams of liquid egg whites, and one bell pepper, one green, one red bell pepper, and one onion for the whole fucking thing of 4 trays. So a quarter of each of those bell peppers and a quarter of an onion. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend like making them one tray at a time. Do it as like a full batch meal prep like I did. It's a lot easier that way. But yeah, that's everything in that tray. And I'm just gonna mash it up with my fork and then ladle it onto the tortillas after everything is heated up. So there you have it. That's breakfast. So on top of today being leg day, um, every day that I lift, which is 6 days a week, because I do legs and then a push day and then a pull day is the split that I've been doing, and then I'll take a rest day. So I'm not resting in between each one. It's legs, like today is Thursday, for example. Legs on Thursday, push on Friday, pull on Saturday, rest on Sunday. And I just go through that cycle, 3 days on, 1 day off. Um, that's 6 days a week, right? 5 or 6. I don't. It's too fucking early. Yeah. Every day that I lift, I also do cardio. Ideally, I'm aiming for 2 hours, but if I only get one, it is what it is. I need to vacuum and mop the floors of the whole fucking house. I need to wipe down the fucking countertops in this goddamn kitchen. I need to get the stove top as well. I need to clean that. I've got to do my cooking that I mentioned, and you'll see what's coming up later. Of course, I'll get into that. Behind me, the dishwasher has last night's dishes in it. We have an old, crummy dishwasher. It does not dry them out on its own. It tries, but it doesn't work. Um, so yeah, I ran those last night, and then when I woke up this morning, I actually opened it up, and I have to like literally shake the water off of some of these fucking dishes, like on the tops, like the bottom part of the coffee mug where it's like kind of recessed a bit. Um, Whatever. You can figure out what I'm fucking talking about. But water like pools in there from being washed. I have to shake that shit off. Like the lids and containers for like the meal prep trays, the plastic containers, I have to shake the water off of those, etc. Because the dishwasher sucks. We can't afford to replace it with one that actually works properly. So those are drying right now. And in like an hour or two, I'm gonna have to come back out here, unload that, and start loading the new dishes in. And I'm gonna run those later. I might do 2 cycles today. There have been some days where I've done as many as 3 fucking cycles of the fucking dishwasher, just because between me and my roommate and the fact that, he doesn't eat my diet. He cooks for himself, I cook for myself, and it stays separate like that. And my 3 cup a day habit of coffee, between all that shit, um, we use the dishwasher a lot some days. Some days I don't have to do any cooking because I already have just stacks of meal prep in the fridge. So some days I run one load and that's it. But yeah, we'll see what happens today. But yeah, I've got a lot of shit to do. So while I wait for my breakfast to cool to a reasonable eating temperature, we'll talk about a couple more things. First of all, if you actually try this breakfast wrap meal prep thing that I just fucking described, um, you'll notice that there's a lot more filling than just 2 tortillas will actually support. I'm aware. I just eat the excess filling out of the tray. Like, now that I'm bulking, I might add in a third tortilla. But if you're cutting, stick to just two, or maybe even only one, or omit them altogether, and just have the filling. It totally depends on what you're trying to do. Um, there was something I forgot to mention that I am still forgetting to mention. Um, I suppose if I think of it. Oh wait, no, 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 no. I did. I just remembered. Okay, so over here, which I'm not gonna show, but this fucking bowl here. This is dough. Another thing I'm gonna do today, and you will see it later, because it's gonna be part of dinner. Depending on what I end up eating for dinner, actually, maybe you won't see it. I'm gonna bake a loaf of bread. I've been making homemade bread a lot. Just because my brother's wife showed me a recipe that's really good and really easy. Um, I'm not a good baker, so I have a hard time not fucking up breads or like baked desserts. So yeah, getting a bread recipe that works without too much struggle that I can consistently pull off, it's pretty fucking cool. It's just normal ass bread flour and shit like that. There's nothing like, no crazy fucking keto almond flour and xanthan gum bullshit going on. I just, I slice it really thin and I don't make it very like, the loaf is not very tall either. When I'm on a cut, again, now that I'm bulking, I'm not playing it quite so conservative. But I'm still trying to keep it to like 2 pounds ish a week, so things are not going to get too crazy, and you'll see that. But anyways, yeah, I thought I'd mention that's another fucking thing on today's to-do list is to babysit this dough. It's still on its first rise. Then I'm going to transfer it to the actual loaf pan later and let it do a second rise for another handful of hours. And then I'll finally bake the fucking bread. So, as everything else is going on today, that's also in the the mental back burner is fucking bread. But yeah, that's not a big deal. It's pretty easy. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and eat, and I'll come back whenever I'm on to the next thing that's actually worth mentioning, because 99% of my day isn't. I'm very boring. I don't know why you're watching this. I feel sorry for you. I, I apologize that I don't have better content, but I'm a boring ass motherfucker. Anyways, I hope you get something out of it anyways. I'll see you in the next segment. I'm laying in bed for this segment because I'm fucking tired. um, I don't know. I might take a nap for a bit. Um, I haven't been sleeping very well the past few days. I've had really bad anxiety about a job interview that I had yesterday. So, like, that was Wednesday morning when I had that interview yesterday. Monday night and Tuesday night together, I got a total of maybe 5 hours of sleep. Um, so I'm wiped. I'm fucking exhausted. Because I was nervous about that interview. I'm not gonna go into too much detail for privacy reasons, but basically, if I get the job, I don't know yet. Um, which I don't think I will, unfortunately. I would be working in car maintenance, basically. And that's the thing. All of my job experience, I had a couple retail jobs when I was like basically right out of high school, but aside from that, I've mostly worked like warehouse and factory jobs, and the longest I've ever worked anywhere, I worked in security for a few years, like physical security, not like computer shit. Yeah, at the interview, he's like, "Oh, you showed up early and you have the right attitude. I just wish you had more experience." And it's like the position is literally it was listed on the website as entry level auto service technician. Like, if I had experience, why would I be applying for the entry level? But I mean, that's the state of employment. If you don't have prior experience in a field, then you can't even get an entry level position in that field. So the only way to get into a line of work is to know somebody, basically. And I don't know anybody, so yeah, I guess I'm probably gonna be stuck in factories for the rest of my life. Fucking sucks, and I'm really down about it, to be honest. Like I feel really defeated about my prospects in life. Um, I my family lives multiple states away for the most part. I have my brother up here, but that's it. And extended family all live again multiple states away. So I don't have any like uncles or cousins or anything, no connections like that I can cash in on up here. And like my friends are all working entry level jobs and random shit themselves. Like, one's in like a call center, which I definitely don't want to do. Phone calls are. I'd rather do in person customer service. I would probably sooner do fast food than a call center, to be honest. Another one works a warehouse job that doesn't pay very well, and he gets treated like shit. I don't really feel like going there. One works in the kitchen at a jail. No. So yeah, I have no real actionable connections, and so it just feels like I'm just hoping somebody's gonna give me a chance eventually. But every fucking interview I go to, they're just like, "Oh, I wish you had more experience." And it's like, well, I can't get experience if nobody's gonna let me even get in like the fucking bottom level without prior experience. It fucking sucks. But regardless, there's still a chance I might get the job as long as nobody else applies to it that has any more experience than I do, which seems unlikely to me. So I'm not expecting anything of it. Probably another fucking thing I'm gonna do today is get back on Indeed and fill out more applications. Check all the temp agencies around here to see if any openings have come up that aren't like management shit. Because I don't have any experience doing that either, so I'm definitely not gonna get hired on as a manager anywhere. Not that I would ever want to, but yeah. Um, haven't been sleeping great, so I might fucking take a nap, which sucks because like this part of the day is when like my roommate is at work, so I don't have to worry about like how much noise I make or how much space I take up or anything. Like when he's here, like I want to just be in my room as much as possible, basically, because I want to stay out of his way. But yeah, I'm having a really hard time staying awake, all things fucking considered. But is what it is. All right, so I'm awake again. I definitely slept longer than I intended to, but with how fucked up my sleep has been, that's not surprising. I probably needed it, so I'll just have to take that on the chin. It sucks, but whatever. We're going to talk about supplementation for a moment. I do have some creatine, but I haven't been taking it because I've been on a cut for a while. So I don't really like to drink calories. I'll make exceptions for my coffee and, some beer or whiskey, but even then, I usually just drink a light beer because it's cheap and has fewer calories. But now that I'm on a cut, I might actually start using my creatine that I have. Aside from that, this is everything that I take. And these two I don't even take every day. And I cut them in half. So here's the deal. I don't get outside a lot because it's been lately it's been about 6 or 7 degrees Fahrenheit outside, which water freezes at 32 Fahrenheit for you Europeans and others. So it's been really fucking cold. And so yeah, I have not spent any time outside that I didn't absolutely need to lately. So the D vitamin is one that I take every day. Um, Here's the thing. I don't know if the camera's going to focus on that. I wish it would, but maybe it won't. Okay, well, I'll take it off camera and just read it in my own eyes. So two of these vitamins has 125% of your daily value of vitamin D for two of them. I only take one every day because I get some vitamin D in my milk, in the coffee, and also this one also has 125% if you take two every day. I take one of these. So between these two, what is it? They're 75 for one, 75 for one. So I'm still getting 125% of what I need every day just from one of both of these, and then more from the milk and the coffee. So I'm getting more of the vitamin D that I need. Let me see the calcium. What's the situation here? Okay, so two of these is 38%. So I'm getting, what is that, 19% out of that. This one straight up doesn't have any calcium by the look of it. But again, I have the milk in my coffee, and the rest of my diet. Like I had cheese in my meal prep this morning. I try to get vegetables and legumes and everything into my diet, like the fat-free refried beans, the two bell peppers and an onion, and the fucking eggs, the salsa. So I between eating actual fruits and vegetables, I keep bananas around as well to try and make sure that I get enough potassium. I like to have like one banana every other day, every 2 or 3 days or something like that, just to make sure my fucking bases are covered. And these two are another part of that. I worry sometimes I don't get enough vitamin C. This, for three of these, which I don't know why they would do it that way, three of these has fucking 833% of your daily value. I take one that is split in half. I take half of one of them every other day, which I also do with these because iron is one of those where like a lot of these like they're like water soluble vitamins that if you have too much in your system, you kind of just piss them out. So they're not terribly dangerous. You might get into some sketchy territory if you have too much calcium and D, but iron is one of those where you can have too much iron, and it could be a problem. This iron supplement, it's not going to focus again, but it's like right here, somewhere like that. It lists vitamin C on it. Two of these has 29% of your vitamin C. Again, there's vitamin C in the straight up multivitamin. So having half of one of these every other day is not a lot of vitamin C, but I'm still getting some from this. I'm getting some from this, and I'm getting more from my diet. So basically, these are just to make sure that I'm not straight up deficient in either vitamin C or iron, like one of the essential minerals. Um, and then these two are just like a daily, like just making sure I'm getting enough of the D3 and, just like A and B vitamins and shit like that, which again, most of those I should be getting from my diet. Um, I the homemade bread, the fucking beans. Like if I make a salad, for example, I use lettuce I got that backwards. Instead of lettuce, I use fresh spinach, and I like to put either cannellini beans or chickpeas in my salads. I'll put beans, cannellini beans usually in pasta whenever I make pasta, like just red sauce with I use Protein Plus pasta, the one brand that I don't fucking remember off the top of my head right now because I just woke up. And I'll use beans and ground beef and peas and everything in the pasta. So like I stick vegetables places where most people won't. Go ahead and clip that and put it out of context. And beans as well. In low fat dairy products and everything. So most of manganese, magnesium, folate, whatever, like I should get most of that for my diet, and then this shit is just to like fill in any gaps so that I'm not like about to develop fucking scurvy or anemia or something or have my fucking bones go weak. So yeah, that's it. um I put these on here not because I'm trying to sell anybody on anything, but like we're going through a full day of eating, and these have calories. Everything that you take in, other than water, has calories. I'm a Diet Pepsi addict. I have a couple every day. Those may have up to 1 calorie a piece, maybe a couple, but that's it. Aside from that, or water, just straight up unadulterated water, everything else you take in has calories. So yeah, I put it in the video. However many calories, one of these, half of one of these, half of one of these. And today I'm not going to even take these at all. Like today I'm only taking these two because I took half of one of these and half of one of these yesterday. So I know it's kind of confusing, but I have it down, and I feel perfectly fine. I don't feel any unusual coldness or weakness, so I feel like I'm getting enough iron. My teeth and gums aren't all fucked up, so I don't think I have scurvy. I worry sometimes that I may still not be getting enough fight. Well, no, because I just went through the fucking breakdown on the labels. Unless I'm not absorbing any of that shit, I'm probably getting enough vitamin D. Um, I think I'm probably good. It's been a while since I've had blood work done because it's been a while since I've had health insurance, and the U.S. does not have free healthcare for some reason. So I can't give you numbers on my blood work to like prove it, but I think I'm probably fine. And I came to this regimen because when I have had health insurance, I will look at my blood work and I'll look at my iron levels and all that kind of shit. And yeah, it was from keeping an eye on my blood work that I noticed that like the normal ranges for my iron, my levels were just slightly below. Same thing with my vitamin D, and that's when I made the decision that like I'm gonna get an iron supplement and also take vitamin D every day. So there you have it. Once the weather isn't fucking Arctic, I'll be getting outside more and I'll be less worried about vitamin D. Um, but anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, first off, I'm gonna finish this second cup of coffee. Um, I'm gonna unload the dishwasher, put the new dishes in. I need to transfer the bread dough into the bread pan for its second rise. And I really ought to get started on weights. Today being leg day, we're gonna be doing squats and deadlifts and calf raises and actually tibialis raises. because I do train my tibs as much as most people just kind of forget that they exist. I want to start running again once the weather gets good. Because I haven't done that in a long ass time. I did like a 5K training thing with the local library back in 2022, like May and June of 22 or somewhere in there. And like I was okay at it. I was obviously not like the top one because like I spent the first 25 years of my life not really moving my body at all. But given that context, I did pretty well. But yeah, the few times I've tried to run since I've lived here, like it's obvious that I'm way out of practice and kind of out of shape. And I keep getting shin splints. And so, yeah, I want to build my strength and endurance in my tibialis muscles. Um, and yeah, good old deadlifts and squats, the king of leg exercises, and two of the the kings of just straight up compound lifts in general. Um, and that's it. Like tibialis, squat, calf raise, deadlift. Um, I might do. I keep. I have some indecision as to what day I want to do my my grip strength training on. If I want to do that on the pull day, or if I want to put that on the same on leg day, like with the deadlifts, so that my grip strength is just being fucking demolished on a single day, but then has the entire rest of my cycle to recover again before it comes back around to leg day. Or if I'm going to demolish my grip strength on leg day, have push day off, and then do it again on pull day, and then have rest day off, and then again on leg day. Like, I don't know. It feels like my grip has been going downhill, and so it feels like I need more recovery time. And so I might just do it all on the same day, and then I have both push and pull day and the rest day to recover before the next time I train grip. I don't know. Um, Now that I'm on a bulk, like recovery might be easier anyways because I'll just be taking in more material in general instead of trying to lose weight at the same time as, lifting all the fucking time. Anyways, I'm gonna go do some shit and we'll come back when it's ready for lunch. So, excuse me, it's not time for me to eat yet, but here's the deal for lunch. I'm gonna have these. These are just two different bags of frozen vegetables from Aldi, um, because I'm bougie like that. Um, you can see this one is seasoned, the other one isn't. I get one of each just because I have my own sauce that I'm going to be using, so it doesn't need to be fully seasoned on its own. And also because they have slightly different contents between the two, and I just want to mix it up a bit. So that's about it. So both of these, I'm going to kind of stir fry in just a little canola oil, just enough to make sure that they don't stick to the skillet. And then once they're pretty much cooked, I'm going to put in this sauce. This is homemade. It mostly consists of soy sauce, lemon juice, mirin, which is like a sweet cooking sake, and peanut butter, and a little bit of a sriracha sauce. You can use any like Asian style hot sauce you want. Um, I also added in a bunch of ginger and garlic, red pepper flakes, a little bit of cinnamon, not a whole lot because it can get kind of overpowering. A little bit of MSG in there. I'm not afraid of MSG. Black pepper, all kinds of shit added to that base, and also just some cornstarch to thicken the texture a bit. So yeah, once these are mostly cooked, or like pretty much entirely cooked, I'm gonna throw in the sauce right in the skillet with them, mix it together, take it off the heat right away. The sauce thickens up pretty fucking quickly. I'm gonna use 2 cups of rice because I'm on the bulk cycle now. If I were cutting, I would only use 1 cup of rice, and this whole thing is gonna make 4 trays. So each tray would get essentially half a cup of, a quarter cup of dry rice if I were on a cut. And now it's going to get half a cup of dry rice per meal. So I'm using 2 total for that. I'm going to, put the rice in the pot and then rinse the starch off to give it a better texture instead of making it all fucking sticky if you don't rinse the starch off. Um, if you weren't aware of that trick, there you go. I'm going to do the same thing with eggs and egg whites that I did for breakfast, but I'm leaving out the bell peppers and the onion. It's just going to be the eggs and the egg whites with a little bit of seasoning in the casserole dish, bake it in the oven, just like I did for breakfast. Um, this is one of those days where I'm not going to be eating a whole lot of meat. Maybe for dinner, I'll have some meat, but, a couple of eggs and some egg whites is still yet slightly more economically viable than having straight up meat all the time. At least I think so. It's been a while since I've actually checked. Maybe it's different now with the way like egg prices change and everything. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of meat in my diet at the moment because I'm just trying to be at least slightly frugal. But yeah, again, I don't have a tripod or anything, so actually showing any of this in motion would be tricky. I'm not going to do it. But once I have it thrown together, I'll show you the final product, I guess. It's just going to look like a generic stir fry over rice with eggs instead of meat and a brown sauce. So there you have it. That's my lunch meal prep that I'm going to make today. So the water for the rice is heating up. I got it rinsed, put water in, just got to bring it to a boil, then down to a simmer and cover it as you do with rice. I also just put clothes on to wash because that was another thing that I needed to do today that I forgot about for the first half of the day. So that's running. I just found out that my Dungeons and Dragons group fell apart, so that sucks. I don't play online. I was having like my actual real life friends meet here and I would cook for them every time and everything. But just for scheduling reasons, it's not going to work out. So a couple of my friends I just may not see for like months at a time because like the only time that they really see anybody is like when they go out and I don't have money to be going out to eat. It doesn't fit into my diet program. They like to fly by the seat of their pants too instead of scheduling ahead of time, which doesn't really work very well for me because I have to cook all the time. I do almost all of the chores in the house. I don't want to skip my workouts, like between 1 to 3 hours of cardio 6 days a week, plus lifting 6 days a week, and all of the chores and the cooking and everything. I don't. If I don't have plans ahead of time, I'm going to fill in those gaps with meal prep and exercise and chores and shit. And so, like, if I'm gonna do these, like, at the drop of a hat, sort of, hey, are you busy? No. Okay, let's go do something. That would just mean I'm gonna end up skipping workouts at random, which I'm not very apt to do, especially like if I'm running a bulk cycle, like I need to be doing my lifts. And if I don't, then I'm just gaining fat with like no muscle behind it. So yeah, that sucks, and it makes me feel really depressed. I feel like I'm not gonna see my friends for fuck all anymore. Um, on top of everything else, like it's been a handful of months now since my last relationship ended, and like I've finally got back on dating apps, which suck. But I don't have money to go anywhere and like meet anybody. Like I'm not working right now, so I'm not going to meet anybody at work, and it's kind of a bad idea to date coworkers anyways. I'm not in school or anything, and I what am I going to do that I don't have to spend money for, especially when it's fucking 20 degrees outside and snowing. Like I can't just like go to the park or whatever. And I personally like, maybe you don't see it now. I mean, especially now, but like maybe you don't see it ever. But like, I do get attention from men sometimes, which makes me fucking uncomfortable because I'm not interested in men. But that's just the thing is like when I get hit on by random strangers, like random strange men, I enjoy it when it's when I get attention from women. But that is not terribly often because again, but men hit on me sometimes and it makes me so fucking uncomfortable. It feels disgusting and I hate it. Um, and I just, the thought of like cold calling like that, like just randomly approaching strange women in public, just makes me feel like shit. like, because I can only imagine that I'm bothering them and making them feel uncomfortable and maybe vaguely scared. Because that's kind of how I feel when men approach me. Like, even as much as, like, I'm strong-ish and I have some formal training in fighting and I carry a gun and everything, but still, like, it concerns me when men approach me because I know I'm going to reject them because I'm not into them. I'm not into men in general. Like, the fact that they are male makes them not my type. And a lot of dudes don't take that well, and it sucks. And I always like worry, is this person going to follow me out in the parking lot? Are they going to try to follow me home? Like, is this going to turn into a thing? What if they have a weapon as well? What if they're a better fighter? What if they're stronger, etc.? Um, it's the kind of shit I worry about because some men are fucking psychotic. Women can be too, but more men can fight and are stronger and may carry weapons than women by kind of a wide margin. So it's just more of a concern. And so I always think about all those times that men have made me uncomfortable when I get any sort of notion in my head that I might just approach a random strange woman that I have no pretense for speaking to, aside from existing in the same public space. So I'm pretty much relegated to dating apps. And that's horrible because most people on dating apps are just some of the most vapid and shallow people on the planet. I've talked to a couple of girls since I've gotten back on dating apps like a week ago, and it just hasn't gone anywhere. I feel like the interest is not really there. I'm ugly and boring and broke and a crossdresser, so like, what the fuck do I expect, you know? And it's hard to carry a conversation too because I have to do all of the conversational heavy lifting. I just get like a lot of like very simple, oftentimes even just one word replies. Like I'll send some music that I like, or like I'll talk about one of my hobbies or whatever, and I just get a nice in return, and it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? Um, but I don't really know how to talk to people in person either. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna have to just accept that I'm gonna be single for probably a handful of years at this rate. And maybe someday when I actually manage to get my foot in at a job somewhere and I climb the ladder enough that I'm making decent money, like I'll start actually going back to a real fighting gym again, or maybe I'll go to like yoga classes or something and I can meet women more organically in a space where I actually have a reason to speak to them and they can get to know me and it's not like this uncomfortable cold call situation where I'm walking up to them like a fucking pickup artist and making them feel uncomfortable, and instead I can just actually get to know someone and like build some sort of a platonic connection first and then just see where it goes from there. If it goes anywhere, that's the way that it should be. But there just aren't really spaces in our society anymore where you can do that without having to spend a bunch of money, and I don't have money right now. So yeah, between that and like scheduling conflicts making it so that I can't really see my friends and shit like that, and the money situation making it so that my friends don't really spend time with me because like there's nothing you can do for free that's all that fun. Um, I don't really play video games. I don't really have time. They only play certain video games, most of which I'm not very interested in. I don't like hanging out over the internet anyways. Like internet interaction doesn't really do much of anything for me. It doesn't fill that void in my life of social interaction the same way that seeing people in person does. Um, so I don't know. I feel really depressed. I feel really isolated. I feel ugly and unloved. I feel like my life is going nowhere. Like I was just born doomed or something. I don't know. I realize that I'm being a downer and that this is all unrealistically negative or whatever, but maybe it's not. Maybe things really are just that bad. I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. A lot of my age group does. Anyways, whatever. I'll be back next time there's anything worth recording. So the rice is finished and put away. The eggs are in the oven and going. They'll be there for a hot minute. Um, Clothes are going. I ran the dishwasher. I may have already said that, but I'm fucking discombobulated as shit right now. Um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my first half hour of cardio for the day. I tend to do it in kind of half hour blocks because my attention span just does not support doing it all at once. So here's the deal. I'm hungry as shit. As soon as those eggs are done, I'm gonna go ahead and eat. I also need to stir fry the fucking vegetables too, though. So it was like 8:30 ish or 9 in the morning when I started. Like when I had that coffee and I got my breakfast wraps. And then I took that fucking nap, which turned out to be like the better part of a full night's rest. I woke up again at like 1:30 or 2 is when I had my second cup of coffee. I have not eaten yet, and it's almost 4. It's like a little past 3:30. So I'm hungry as fuck. I usually don't go quite that long between meals, but I didn't have. I mean, I had a couple of things, but there's one that I'm saving for dinner, and one thing that I'm not eating today at all. The one's a cup of protein oatmeal. I'm not going to show that because it's not like I'm giving you any sort of idea of like what I do, because it's a prepackaged product that I put a scoop of protein powder into and some milk and water. So not a whole lot to show there. The other one is half of a tray of leftover shepherd's pie that my brother's wife made the other night when I went to their house. They gave me a tray to take home. I'm going to be having that with a slice of my bread that I'm going to bake later and some cheese, and that's going to be dinner. So, spoiler alert for that. But yeah, I didn't have like a lunch option unless I wanted to go ahead and just eat the oatmeal today, but then I wouldn't have shown you as much cooking. So, anyways, all that bullshit aside, I'm probably just going to go ahead and do my first half hour of cardio. The eggs are going to be more or less done by the time I'm done. And then I'll do the stir fry veg. I'll have my lunch, and then I will get started on actually lifting. And after I've done my lifting for the day, I'll do the next half hour of cardio, just chill for a fucking while, and then I'll probably have my last cup of coffee with dinner, and then after that, do another half hour of cardio. And if there's enough, like, if I'm still awake after that, like feeling energetic enough, I'll do another half hour of cardio after another short rest, just hanging around. And that'll be my 2 hours for the day. We'll see how that pans out. But, anyways, I'm going to get started on the first half hour now. And then I got to finish cooking lunch. Then we'll get into lifting and all that shit. I'm putting off the vacuuming and mopping until tomorrow because with all the cooking I'm doing today, I don't have much cooking to do tomorrow. I'm getting my laundry done, all of that shit. So I'll have more time for it tomorrow. For today, I want to focus on getting my lifts done and getting some cardio in for the rest of the day. And that's going to be my that's going to be my priority right now. So I'll see you later once I do more cooking. All right, so the eggs are done. I'm working on the vegetables now. I just got them started. They're still frozen fucking solid. My roommate is going to be home any minute, and when that happens, I'm going to be less talkative by a long shot because I'm kind of self-conscious about these, and they're also going to take place exclusively in my room. So it's a good thing that there's not much left to do at this point. Dinner is it's leftovers, so I just need to bake the bread, put some cheese on it, slap it in the microwave just long enough to get the cheese soft. That'll be dinner. And I won't be filming my workouts because I don't have a tripod and the whole house is a mess and it's really embarrassing. And also I hate people watching me work out. That's also really embarrassing. I'm ugly as shit. I don't know why you'd want to see that anyways. So regardless, yeah, almost done here. Ta-da! All 4 already distributed out. That's the one I'm going to eat right now. The other 3 are going to get put away once they're cooled down. So yeah, I'm going to do that, take a break for a second, and then I got to get to the weights. I can't wait. I'm so excited to suffer fucking goddamn leg day. So here I am in this cold as fuck basement, finally about to lift hours later. This shadow across my face right here is my barbell, which I can't. There we go. It was louder than I wanted it to be, but I'm not really in a position to be particularly delicate right now. I'm sitting on my bench, like towards the head of the bench. Yeah, I ate that meal at like 5 or so. Um, maybe slightly earlier. It's 8 o'clock right now. And I feel painfully bloated. It's fucking miserable. Which, yeah, that was my experience with running a bulk cycle last time. So, nothing new there, unfortunately. I may have overdone it. I may be doing the thing again where I took my intake up too high too quick and I put on weight too fast. That might be happening again. So I might have to tone it back down a little bit because I don't want to do that again. It was stupid. Uh, and it was miserable. Yeah, I feel like shit. And now I have to do a whole bunch of deadlifts and squats while feeling like shit. Because if I skip it, then I'm just putting on fat and kind of defeats the purpose of this whole fucking situation. So yeah, this sucks. Bulking is not that great. It's not very comfortable, but oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Get it out of the fucking way. Do at least another half hour of cardio so I can say I at least did an hour today. And then around 10, I'm gonna bake that fucking bread and get my dinner together. Hopefully, I'll get to bed at a reasonable ish time. Um, actually get some fucking sleep tonight. We'll see. Sometime after dinner, I'm probably gonna sit around and apply to more fucking jobs that I'm not gonna get because I don't have years of experience in anything other than factories and warehouses, and I don't want to work in factories and warehouses anymore. So whatever, fuck me, right? It's not like I'm supposed to be able to like live a fucking life and have any degree of freedom in this world. What an unreasonable expectation for someone who can't rely on nepotism. Anyways, bitching aside, I have some fucking work to do, and I guess I'm gonna just suffer through it. I'll see you later. So I've got the oven preheating right now to go ahead and bake that fucking loaf of bread. Um, I still feel like absolute shit. It's been almost 2 hours since since the last little snippet that I recorded. Um, yeah, my stomach's still pretty fucked up. I think I overdid it for lunch. I think I wasn't ready for quite that much food. That same recipe I do all the time, like when I'm on a cut just with half the rice, which even the amount that I used, like 2 cups of dry rice going into 4 different portions, it's not a shitload of rice, but like I'm not used to eating that much. So yeah, that kind of fucked me up. So I might wait a little later for dinner. It might be closer to 11 or even 12 before I eat dinner because it's 9:50 on the oven at least. Um, and I'm not in the mood to eat any more food right now. I would be in so much pain. Um, so yeah, there you go. Uh, even I mean the portion of the shepherd's pie leftovers that I have is not very big, and like one slice of the bread and a piece of reduced fat cheese. It wouldn't be a heavy meal, but still, like that fucked me up earlier. So yeah, people don't realize they think bulking is gonna be fun. It's gonna be like a cheat day all the time. That shit hurts. If you go overboard, it becomes painful very quickly, and when you're in like a sort of like digestive discomfort, it makes all the heavy lifting that you have to do all the time that much more uncomfortable. Um, I struggled to get through my fucking workout today. To be honest, I had a bit of I wouldn't say a blow up. It wasn't that catastrophic. I didn't throw or break anything, but I really wanted to. I got super pissed off because my grip strength is clearly a bottleneck for me, which drives me fucking crazy because I've had multiple like factory and warehouse jobs at this point that require they put a lot of strain on your grip. Like some of these places will even brag seemingly whenever you're doing like orientation about like, oh, we have however many people a year seek treatment for carpal tunnel. It's a hard job, blah blah blah. It sounds almost like they're proud of it, like you're overworking people to the point that they get an injury. But anyways, I've gone through those jobs and I've never had any sort of carpal tunnel or any other injury. I've always been fine. I mean, the first job like that I had, there was definitely some pronounced soreness in the beginning. Like the first warehouse job that I worked, the guys there were joking around one day about like they would wake up in the morning with like the death grip and they felt like they couldn't move their fingers, and I got that a time or two, but I worked that job. I moved on to the next one. It was that meat packing plant that I worked at. It taxed your grip pretty fucking hard too, and then so did my most recent job up here. So I feel like I have a pretty strong grip. I have a set of grip trainers that are like there's a 100-pound one, there's a 150, there's a 200. I can close the 150 for reps. Like I can just sit there and crank out reps on the 150 with both hands. I'm almost to the point where I can close the 200, which is not a whole lot, but it's more than the average person can do. Like even the average adult male, if he doesn't lift weights, then and he doesn't work like one of these jobs, he might have a hard time closing the 150, let alone the 200. And I'm almost there. And yet, and yet, I loaded up fucking 235. That's two plates, right? I didn't use actual two 45-pound plates because I don't have two 45-pound plates. So the 45s, the one pair of them I have, a pair of 35s and a pair of 10s. I loaded that onto the barbell, which I use a standard Olympic barbell. It's the 7-footer, 45 pounds. So 235, right? If I'm doing the math right. I got two sets of 5 deadlifts on that before my left hand just couldn't do it anymore, grip wise. Like my hamstrings, my ass, none of that feels anything. I don't feel deadlifts anywhere except right here in my left wrist. And it's driving me fucking crazy because I want to deadlift heavier. I can squat 300 two parallel for 5 sets of 5, and I'm probably ready to go beyond that. It's just that the plate set I have only goes up to 300 right now, and I can't afford to buy more plates, but I really want to. But I can't, I squat more than I deadlift. I almost bench press as much as I deadlift because of my fucking grip. And it's driving me fucking insane. I want to do more pull-ups too, but I have the same fucking problem with pull-ups. I can crank out like 10 for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 sets. It's usually my elbow that gives me more problem than my grip. I get golfer's elbow on pull-ups, but it's just the thing is I have these little fucking, like the golfer's elbow situation with the pull-ups or my left wrist with deadlifts where it's like, it's clear that I've got these weaknesses, but like, you know, you look into like what to do about them. I changed my technique a bit on the pull-ups because I've sat there and like looked at videos and articles about getting elbow pain when doing pull-ups. I've adjusted my technique as they fucking suggested, and it helped a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's just like it's like the side of my elbow, like the part that you're seeing right there, not the outside, not the actual like point of it, but like the side of the elbow right there is where the pain is. And again, it's my left arm. I'm right-handed, so my left arm is less developed. It just drives me fucking insane to have these like the oven's probably ready for the fucking bread by now. Let me see. It drives me fucking insane that I have these fucking that I have these limiting factors that are holding back some of my lifts, some of the most important lifts, and I don't know what to do. Like I train grip as part of my pull day, as well as the strain that deadlifts put on it. So it's 2 days out of my like 3 days on, 1 day off cycle. 2 of those 4 days I'm doing dedicated. Well, I do one dedicated grip strength training. The deadlifts, I'm calling them dedicated grip strength training because it sure as hell isn't taxing much of anything else because of the fact that my grip is holding it back. So I feel like I should be getting enough volume in to affect my grip, and yet I've just been plateauing for so long. I'm hoping that running this bulk cycle and doing my regimen the way that I have been, maybe I'll finally break that plateau by just giving my body more material to work with so that I can actually build a bit more lean mass in my forearms, and maybe that will finally allow me to move on. But like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if anything develops or if I'm just going to be stuck deadlifting maybe like half of my actual max. Well, not a whole. It's more than that. It's like probably 75% of my actual 1 rep max for deadlift because I just straight up my hands can't hold on to the bar after a certain weight. It drives me fucking insane. But anyways, yeah, regardless, um, yeah, that really pissed me off, and I'm stressing about that now. We'll see. We'll see how the bulk goes. I'm gonna bake this fucking bread, and I'm gonna leave it just to cool down for a while before I slice it up, and I'll come back for dinner later. And that's gonna be that. That's gonna be the end of this video. I still haven't done any more cardio yet. I'm probably gonna do one more half-hour block, and then it's really iffy if I'm gonna do a third one. I'm not gonna do the full 2 hours today because it's already basically 10 o'clock. After like 11 to midnight, my roommate's going to be going to bed, and I don't want to be making a whole bunch of noise when he's trying to fucking sleep. So, yeah, I have some time constraints for in that regard that I need to work within, and so I should have been more productive earlier in the day. But between catching up on sleep and having to cook, what was it? I did 2 different meal preps today, I think. I don't remember. I don't even know. I genuinely don't know. The cooking I've done, the dishes, the laundry, weights, and then making myself sick as fuck when I ate lunch. It has not been the day. And that's another thing that's going to stress me out. I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm just gonna lay there, and I'm gonna be like, I missed my last half hour of cardio for the day that I was supposed to do, and I'm putting on weight now because I'm bulking. I need to stay on top of my cardio, or else I'm gonna get all out of shape. Even as, hopefully I'm gonna be putting on muscle, but like I don't want to get to the point where like summer comes around and I'm ready to get back into running, and I can't go 5 feet without huffing and puffing. Like I just fucking ran a marathon. I hate being in that position. The cardio is really important to me, both because, like I said, I want to get back into running, but also, like, I used to fight, and I would really love to get back into it if I could just afford it and have a job in which the schedule allows me to attend classes. If I could meet those 2 conditions, I would go back to fighting in a heartbeat, and I would be going to classes multiple days a week. That is what I want to do. That is like a dream for me. And you need good cardio for that. So, like, some of you may be watching and you're like, holy shit, why does this guy want to do 2 hours of cardio 6 days a week? That's why. If you're a fighter, you want to do a lot of cardio. I know that that kind of interferes with the strength training, but that's just the thing, is you have to decide for yourself how you want to balance things. And considering that, one of the things that I most want to do is to go back to fighting, I'm going to have to accept that I'm not going to be a strength specialist. I'm going to have to take that back a little bit to fit in more cardio so that when I do go back to fighting, I'm not just fucking gassing out in the first 15 minutes. But regardless, I'm rambling. This doesn't need to be so long. I'm just letting it go over long because I like to talk. I don't actually like to talk to people. I just like to talk in these videos for some reason. Anyways, I'm going to put this fucking bread in the oven. And there it is. That's my bread. I'm probably just gonna cut off a slice, like maybe like from there over, like that thick. Put on a slice of this cheese and pop it in the microwave for a few seconds. This is the rest of that leftover shepherd's pie situation that my sister-in-law made. And that's gonna be dinner. I'm gonna let this bread cool for a while before I actually cut into it though, and so I'm going to put this other shit back in the fridge until that's ready to go. Yeah, we'll see how much cardio I can stomach for the rest of the night after I've been fucking tired and sick all day, and I only have so much time left before I need to be quiet for the sake of my roommate. Also, I'm starting to get those fucking heart palpitations I get sometimes that are fucking scary as shit, even though I've been checked out by both a regular doctor and by their referral, a cardiologist, who's told me that it's nothing to worry about. Regardless, heart palpitations are fucking freaky. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, that's gonna be it. And then just the usual brush teeth, take a shower, put on lotion, and go to bed. That's going to be the end of my night. There's no more. I'm not drinking any booze tonight. I had a beer last night. Um, I'm a weirdo in that like I have one drink every other night and that's it. So like a light beer or a shot of whiskey or Jaeger or something. Sometimes I will have two drinks or more in one sitting, but then I'll go multiple nights without drinking anything before I do again, just so that I'm not straying too far from like the I don't know if it's CDC or WHO that recommends like up to 3 or 4 drinks a week for an adult male. Um, going beyond that, you're working against your health. And also, I don't want to work against my recovery because I do all this fucking work and I want to be able to keep recovering on time so that I can keep my regimen going without having to like take extra rest days. Beyond just, I do occasionally take an extra rest day if I feel like I need one, and I don't want to be in that position where I feel like I need one more often than already just incidentally happens, purely on account of drinking. And also, of course, alcohol has calories, so that cuts into my diet as well. I would rather eat food more than drink booze. Um, being drunk is a fleeting pleasure. And I mean, so is food, but I'll take the satiety over like, half an hour to an hour of being slightly tipsy. Um, Regardless. That's it. I don't think there's really too much else to show or to talk about. I just, as this was baking, I put in a handful of more job applications. All but one of them were more like apprenticeship type positions. One of them was just another warehouse job like I've had before. That's probably the only one that I'm even going to get a fucking interview for, let alone have any chance of being hired for. But at this point, I'll take it. I need to get work in general, and it sucks that it's probably going to be something that isn't going to like advance my life at all. I'm not going to develop any sort of professional skills or anything that I don't already have. Um, but I don't know. I'm until March, I'm still only 28. Hopefully, I won't be stuck in this fucking rut by the time I'm 30 still, but we'll see. It's not that like I don't care how other people see me. I don't care to pursue success just to be able to say that I'm successful. Um, it's just that I don't want to be fucking broke anymore. Like I like to be able to afford meat at least more regularly than I do. I told you I want to get back into fighting. Um, it'd be cool to buy something that is like not purely necessary every once in a while. Like I would like to get a bike or like a weight vest would be really cool. More plates for my fucking barbell so that I can go beyond 300 pounds on any of my lifts. It would be cool to have little luxuries like that, and also like, I've alluded to before, like I'm trying to start dating again, and I don't want to be a fucking loser that's just like dead weight on some girl. Like, that's why I'm so concerned with trying to make a push for like professional advancement or whatever. Like, I'm not a very material person, but like there are still, it sucks to be living on fucking dry rice and beans and frozen vegetables from Aldi all the time. And not only do I want more comfort for myself, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life single either. Um, but anyways, all of these are very big picture worries, and it doesn't do me much good to sit here and stress over them actively on a day to day basis. I'm still gonna do it because I'm stupid, but yeah, life tip: don't be like me. Don't worry about these big picture things 24/7 as if they're an urgent issue. Um, these are things that you develop over the course of years, and I'm acting as if I need to have it done tomorrow, and I'm just giving myself these fucking heart palpitations probably as a result of me stressing myself out and making myself feel more depressed than I necessarily need to be. Um, yeah, I come out here to get the fucking bread out of the oven, and that's where my mind goes. You can see I've got some problems. I will see you around. Who knows what the next video will be and when I will post it? Who cares? Have a good one, everybody.